Father Mateo, everybody's favorite priest in Arkham Horror. For the longest time, the Arkham Horror community has felt as though Father Mateo has been a bit on the weaker side, myself included.
Father Mateo is, if I had to pick one and be like, you're my B tier, Father Mateo is going to be leading my B tier.
I think Father Mateo's biggest crime is that he's boring. I think I'm going to be putting him in the C tier.
His stat line isn't great.
His stat line's not great. Father Mateo is just absolutely okay. I think even the designers kind of sometimes forget that Father Mateo's a thing. His Elder Sign effect is good because it's him. But I think every time you try Father Mateo, it kind of goes the same way. You're like, well, that was all right.
But with the release of the Feast of Hemlock Veil player cards, Father Mateo has received a significant boost. Is it a good enough boost to answer the question, is Father Mateo good now? Let's dive in. Father Mateo's ability has always been his Elder Sign. Sure, he has the powerful once-a-game effect of turning an auto-fail into an Elder Sign, but his ability is his Elder Sign. Beyond that, he doesn't have too much. In the expansion that he was released, the designers gave Father Mateo the sealed mechanic. The theory of this is sound. Seal tokens so that you have a better chance of drawing the Elder Sign token. However, as most of us who have tried sealed know, the archetype is not great and it has received zero support since its initial release. Because of this, Father Mateo's own Investigator expansion betrays him, leaving him directionless. You could build him like a traditional Mystic, of course, but even there he is outclassed by other Mystics with more relevant abilities and stronger card pools. Speaking of his card pool, it was also pretty lackluster on release, with his Blessed 03 pool being particularly barren. Then, as it got bigger, other investigators began to outclass him. First, there was Parallel Wendy Adams. Her card pool gave her access to Blessed 05, which completely overshadows Father Mateo's. Then, there was Kohaku Narukami, who also has access to Blessed 05. This is made worse by the fact that both of these investigators play with Blessed tokens better than Father Mateo, which are the majority of Blessed cards. This left our boy Father Mateo with most of his purpose eaten up by other investigators. As more expansions released, players attempted to find a home for Father Mateo in the token fishing archetype. This archetype uses the likes of Olive McBride to dig for tokens with a card like 6 Sense 4 as a payoff. The plan is simple. Fish out tokens to trigger your 6 Sense, and Father Mateo has the added bonus of trying to hit his Elder Sign. Nice, right? The reality is, though, that drawing 3 tokens and choosing 2 to resolve leads to a lot less Elder Signs than you think, and a lot more failed tests than you think. Because of this, an investigator like Jacqueline Find ended up excelling more in this archetype, leaving Father Mateo a little lost and confused again. That was until the Feast of Hemlock Veil, when a certain ally got an incredibly powerful upgrade. Olive McBride 2's upgrade reads relatively small. You look at 1 extra token, and you still cancel the same amount of tokens. You're still resolving 2 tokens in the end, but do not underestimate what looking at 1 more token does for the consistency of this card. Let's do a little example. In this example, you're testing up 3. You use Olive 0 and draw these tokens. You have to resolve 2 of them, so you cancel the auto-fail and still fail the test. With Olive 2, you draw the same tokens, but also an additional -2. You have to resolve 2 of them, so you cancel the 2 tokens that cause you to fail the test. Sure, this example is a little bit loaded in Olive McBride 2's favor, but the idea is that giving you 1 more token to choose from gives you 1, more chances to find the tokens you are fishing for, and 2, a higher chance of passing the test. Instead of resolving 66% of the tokens you pull with Olive, you resolve 50% of the tokens you pull with Olive 2. The number reads small, but the change is actually huge. As for her direct synergy with Father Mateo, we have to consider how she increases our chance of drawing the Elder Sign each time we use her. With 16 tokens in the bag, Olive 0 has a 19% chance of hitting an Elder Sign on each use. 1 out of 5 ain't bad. However, Olive 2 has a 25% chance of hitting an Elder Sign on each use. That means in this case, Olive 2 has a baseline 25% chance of giving you an Elder Sign hit with Father Mateo. That's pretty good when you're triggering her once each turn. This obviously carries over into Symbol tokens, where Olive 2 gives a huge boost to the consistency of the token fishing archetype. This, coupled with Father Mateo's desire for Elder Sign fishing, gives Father Mateo an incredible boost. and I'd argue an even higher boost than other investigators have in the same archetype. I thought that Olive McBride 2 would be a big game changer to Arkham Horror. And I'm pretty happy with my prediction. She is a very strong card and pretty much guarantees a pass test when you use her, and that's not even counting all the other perks she can bring. To answer the question, is Father Mateo good now, we need to answer what good means in terms of Arkham Horror the card game. I think it's pretty fair to say that every investigator in Arkham Horror is playable and even good, but it depends on how much work you need to put into them to get them to shine. Additionally, I think it's also reasonable to say that an investigator is good if they have an archetype that they can play better than any other investigator. With that in mind, I think Father Mateo achieves both of these. He needs a lot less work to start achieving his goal consistently, and now he has an archetype that he plays better than other investigators. While Jacqueline Fine can also play token fishing really well with her ability, the ceiling of her payoff is a lot lower than Father Mateo's. Jacqueline's ceiling is the baseline of the archetype. She hits the token that she wants to hit. Father Mateo's, on the other hand, has that baseline, but also has the ceiling of hitting his Elder Sign multiple times throughout the game. And that is very good. Sure, Jacqueline Fine does have a good Elder Sign, but Father Mateo's is better. It's one of the best in the game. I know which one I'd rather hit when building around this archetype. In addition to all this, Father Mateo doesn't need a lot to get moving in this archetype. Get him a 6th Sense 4 and he's beginning to do his job. Grab an Olive McBride 2 and his consistency has skyrocketed. Everything else is built around this, capitalizing on cards like Jewel of Aureolus, Eldritch Inspiration, the upgraded Read the Signs, and the upgraded Spectral Razor, all just creates a perfect stew for Father Mateo to eat from. Not to mention, because of his 5 bonus experience, he can start with Olive McBride 2 in his Scenario 1 deck. That's very nice, and another thing he has over all the others attempting to use this archetype. With all this in mind, I think I can confidently say that yes, Father Mateo is good now. His boost from Hemlock Veil has been immense, and I honestly love it for him. I am playing Father Mateo right now in a run with a limited set of Forgotten Age, Circle Undone, and Hemlock Veil, and it has been very good. He's been rocking it, and it's only going to get better with more of a collection going into the deck. It's very fun, it feels good, and it's great for Father Mateo to have a home that he excels best in. Now, you may have noticed I didn't discuss Father Mateo's and Olive McBride's synergy with the Paradox archetype and the new Broken Diadem card. I still need to do some testing before I get really into it, but it's complicated. I think that Kohaku will always do Paradoxical better, but Father Mateo has a better payoff for the Diadem. Jury's still out on that one, but with testing, I'll find out where my opinion lands on that. But truthfully, it doesn't really matter. What matters is that I think Father Mateo is good now, and, maybe you do too. And if you thought he was good before, he's even better. It's great in Arkham when investigators who are at a lower power level get a boost. It makes the investigator pool deeper, and that's a win all around. That's it for this video. Thanks so much for watching. Consider subscribing to the channel or joining our YouTube memberships if you feel so inclined. We also have a Patreon, and I want to shout out all of our awesome patrons. Thanks for watching, have a good one, and as always, a GG's.
Do I think he's going to get a boon from Hemlock Veil? Yes. I think Olive is going to give, the new Olive is going to give Father Mateo a bit more of an identity. I think Father Mateo's identity is going to shift away from blessed cards and become more about fishing for his Elder Sign. You could argue that already sort of kind of exists with Father Mateo, and I would agree for the most part, but I do think it's missing a tool like Olive 2, which I think is a huge tool to make Father Mateo more consistent for that.